In 1949, Mrs. Olley and her husband checked into the Marborough Court Hotel in London. She was a traveling saleswoman, and she was looking forward to a relaxing weekend in the city. Mrs. Olley and her husband have been greeted by the owner of the hotel, Mr. Marborough, as the receptionist. She was asked to put a signature as a sign of checking into the hotel. Then, she was given the room key by the owner of the hotel. When she arrived at her room, she found a notice on the back of the door that stated that the hotel was not liable for any loss or damage to guests' property. Mrs. Olley did not see this notice until after she had checked in and unpacked her belongings.
The next day,
Mrs. Olley decided to go out with her husband to have a brisk walk at the city of their hotel located. She closed the self-locking door of the room and handed over the key to the reception desk.
Three hours later.
While she was out, the key was taken and Mrs. Olley's fur coat, as well as some of her items from her room, were stolen.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
The thief did his job very fast, as there are no workers in the hotel who noticed the crime. The thief walks away quietly with Mrs. Olley's valuable belongings. This incident was observed by a man at the lobby, but he did not expect it was a thief.
2 hours later.
Mrs. Olley and her husband went back to the hotel. Suddenly, they noticed that her room key was missing. Mrs. Olley and her husband started to panic and run to their room as fast as lightning. Mrs. Olley noticed that their room was unlocked. She entered her room and found out that her belongings has gone. She was very frustrated until she can't feel her own leg. While both of them are looking around the room, they noticed about the sign behind the door that stated that the hotel will not responsible for any recipient belongings.
A few moments later.
While Mr. Marborough were busy doing his job at the receptionist, Mrs. Olley met him furiously to complain about her lost item. Mr. Marborough explained to Mrs. Olley and asked them to read it carefully that they are not responsible for the lost. Mrs. Olley felt unsatisfied and wanted to sue the hotel.
The next day.
Mrs. Olley hired a lawyer for this case. She explained the detail of the case to her lawyer and the lawyer agreed to fight for the case.
Meanwhile,
on the other side, Mr. Marborough also found his lawyer to defend him in court. He explained every detail of the case and the lawyer are ready to fight for him in the court. During the proceedings of the trial court in the case of Olley vs. Marborough, each side of plaintiff and defendant presents their evidence to support their respective arguments. Thomas Anderson representing Mrs. Olley and Henry Collins representing the Marborough Court Hotel, presenting their opening statements. They outline their arguments and provide a preview of the evidence they plan to present. In the first trial of Olley versus Marborough, Mrs. Olley, Emily Olley, emerged as the winner of the case. In response to the unfavorable verdict, Mr. Marborough, the owner or representative of the Marborough Court Hotel, may decide to pursue an appeal. He would instruct his lawyer, Henry Collins, to file an appeal on his behalf.